What's up, Leafs Nation? Welcome back to another game preview. I'm Zack Phillips, and today we're going to be taking a look at game number 11 of the Toronto Maple Leafs regular season as they host the Seattle Kraken here on Halloween. As Nick said on the morning show, hopefully nothing spooky happening here tonight in this game. Seattle come in. You got a big price on the money line for you guys here tonight. Let's get a clean victory, no questions asked. Move on ahead to Saturday night's rematch against the St. Louis Blues and finally actually get some revenge for Craig Berube. But you can only do one game at a time, and tonight's game is against the Kraken. We got the 5-4-1 Toronto Maple Leafs against the 5-4-1 Seattle Kraken. A head-to-head of average records at best as of right now, but at this point in time, I do think the Maple Leafs are the better team, and hopefully here tonight we will see that from them. Now, as you guys know, we put out a video last night reacting instantly to the Timothy Liljegren trade, so he will not be available to hop back into the lineup here tonight. He only did get into one game, but yeah, he's not going to be available for Craig Berube, even if he wanted him, as he was shipped out to San Jose. And if you haven't checked that out, make sure you do so here. Now, Nick and I went on right away following last night's trade, reacting to everything that happened, the return that we got, and all that. So make sure to check that video out. Timothy Liljegren traded, Nick and I's instant reaction. But let's get to the lineup that we do have here in Toronto, and we'll head on over to Daily Faceoff, where we take a look at tonight's lines, as reported over the last couple of days, who will be going. We'll start on the forwards. No change up top, no surprise. I feel like I've said that every time I've done this so far here now, but yet again, no change. Nyes, Matthews, Marner. Stays the same as it should. No issues. Keep it moving. Max Pacioretty, John Tavares, William Nylander will slot in at the second line. Pacioretty and JT got an opportunity to be bumped up with William Nylander in the last game that they played, and these guys were outstanding against the Jets. This was the best line that the Leafs had by far. We saw tweets coming out after the game how in favor the game was of this team or of this line, whether it was shot attempts or actual shots generated, expected goals, actual goals, 4-0 when this line was on the ice at 5-on-5 against the Winnipeg Jets. 4-0. Pacioretty had a night. JT had a hat trick. Willie had himself a night. Really good look for that second line. They get another opportunity to do it again here tonight. As for the third line, Bobby McMann, Max Domi, Pontus, Holmberg. A little bit of a different look there. Nick Robertson, scratch here again tonight against the Seattle Kraken. Nick just has not done what we kind of had thought he would do at this point based on what he had done in the preseason. I'm a goal scorer is all we had heard out of them in regards to who Nick Robertson was, and Nick Robertson fans telling us, hey, he's got to be in here because he's a goal scorer. He's going to score 30. Through the first 9 games that he's had played, he only had 1 goal for this Maple Leafs team. That's just not good enough to that point. You need to be producing more. It's not like he was making a drastic impact in the game in other areas of the ice. He wasn't poor or anything like that, but just not impactful. So at this point, Craig Berube says, let's go with a different look. Nick Robertson will be in the press box, and you're going to get a line of Bobby McMann, Max Domi, and Pontus Holmberg. This one's going to be a weird one to watch here tonight. If you're Pontus Holmberg, you need to be doing anything and everything you can to be grasping at these moments and showing I am an everyday NHL player on this Maple Leafs team. I have no doubt in my mind he would be at some other teams or in some other organizations, but you want to be on one in an organization that's competing for the Stanley Cup, you got to show up every night and prove it. And to this point, he's kind of just being another piece in the puzzle. He's not being an important one. He's just a guy who's here. That's not good enough for a group that's looking to contend. So what can you do? How can you show up here tonight? And with this weird mix of guys and Domi and McMahon on your line as your counterparts, can you find ways to get things going and start to mix it up? So I'm interested to see how they perform. I don't have the highest expectations, but that's our third line tonight. As for the fourth line, I mean, no real words to add here. Lorentz, Kampf, Reeves. Would you change them? I've got no issues right now. I don't see anyone else who I would say that guy needs to be in the lineup. So I'm cool with it. That stays as your fourth line. Now, we will head on down to our defense, and as I did mention there, it will be Timothy Liljegren is out, so Connor Timmins, a guy who has had a great start to this season, is getting a lot more recognition and continues to just create some clearance amongst this depth chart. Nick and I talked about yesterday, you feel like there's likely Hawk and Paw returning here soon. What happens with Philippe Myers? You add Matt Benning to the mix. Like, how is this all going to shake out? Well, for the time being, it's not going to impact too much for this group. Looking at what we've got for the defense, Morgan Riley, Oliver Ekman-Larsson, Jake McCabe, Chris Tanev, Simone Benoit, Connor Timmins. We've seen these pairs the last couple of games. Craig Berube seems to like them or wants to give them a shot. Yet again, I'm still not the biggest fan of the Riley Ekman-Larsson pairing for obvious defensive deficiency reasons, but they haven't really torched you yet, so for the time being, they stay together. That group and the deep core pair, however you guys want to phrase that, they will remain intact here tonight. So those are your 6. As for the power plays, no changes really here from what we had seen against the Jets. Berube going to give them some more opportunity. First unit, Nyes, Marner, Pacioretty, Riley, Matthews. I would rather see OEL in there, but it's fine. Second unit is going to go JT, Domi, McMahon, OEL, and Nylander. Again, I mean, I can do it as much as I want and harp on it, and I've listened to other shows and other people talk about it. I've read other articles. It feels like the general sentiment is if you want to split them up, it's got to be Marner and JT on the second unit, and Nylander needs to be with Matthews on the first unit as your shooters, and then whoever you want to put in as the fill-in guys, and then OEL instead of Riley. But there's a reason I'm not the coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs, guys. So these are the units for tonight. I'm not the biggest fan, but this is what they are. As for goalies, Joseph Woll will take the net here tonight. He's going to get another opportunity against the Seattle Kraken here tonight, a chance to redeem himself from his last outing and say, you know what? I am a contender for the number 1 goalie spot here for this Maple Leafs team. Anthony Stolarz, you've done amazing to start the season, but this is my net. This is my job, and I will be taking this one over. You want to show up and show us that you're the number 1, Joe Woll? Starts here tonight. We can take the last one and throw it in the garbage, pretend it didn't happen, because it was pretty much just a garbage game from everyone involved. Not necessarily your fault, but you got to show up here tonight. So Joe Woll will take the net, as we did see tweeted out that he did not skate this morning, which is his usual starting routine. So we anticipate him to be a net for this Leafs team here tonight. Now, we're going to get to our best bet. I've done some thinking. We're feeling pretty good right now. If you've been following along on the season, the record is 4-7, but we're not looking for a positive record. I don't want to hear about positive record, you're down in your record, whatever. I'm not looking for that. We're giving out plus money bets here, which means that we just have to hit at a high enough ROI, and so far in the season, we are up 0.43 units. We're up money. If you're following along with the unit sizing and staking, we're up money so far on the season. 4-7 record, it don't matter. We are at 0.43 units up on this season. So make sure to be following along and staking correctly and staking properly. And as we get to our best bet segment here, I do want to remind you guys, this segment is brought to you by Bet365, proud partner of the Leafs Nation pregame and the Leafs Nation After Dark. You can open an account with Bet365 today and bet on a huge range of markets. Use code NATION, NATION. That's code NATION, NATION. So whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Head on over to the Bet365 app if you want to be tailing us. Every time I look, I'm making sure we're getting at least best price in market on these, and yet again, another opportunity for us here tonight to do so. So I've told you guys so many times how much I enjoy using the Bet365 Sportsbook. I head on over there. It's easy to navigate, a lot of markets, a lot of opportunities to find little niche things that maybe aren't being accounted for by all the odds makers. And I think I've got another one of those here tonight for us. I mean, I pulled up the screen as we're going to do right now here. I scrolled down to this Maple Leafs Kraken game. I mean, plenty of games here tonight as well to be able to bet on. Going over to the player props, which is where I think I have the most success and the best opportunity to win. And we're going to go down to a market that I bet on, I think, only once so far this year, and that's going to be in the assists area. I'm trying to find where I could find these little edges, little areas that maybe are just slightly off. And the one I think I have here tonight Max Pacioretty to record an assist plus 260. Based on the market, based on his projection and where he's playing in this lineup, how the other guys on his line are performing and their kind of roles and his role in this line, I think there's about a 1% edge on this one, which is a good enough edge here for us to be betting tonight against this Kraken team. Because if you're going to be looking in NHL and you're trying to get these ones that are being bet on heavily, a 1% edge is good enough to be diving into every single day of the week. This is something I would be adding whether I was doing this show or not. Max Pacioretty to record an assist at plus 260. If you're looking for any more reasoning on this and why would we be doing this, why are you betting on an assist and not a point or a goal? Well, here's the thing. Part of it is just the actual number is so good itself. It's the best number in the entire market, no matter what you're doing. So if you're going to want to bet on this one, you're going to want to do it at Bet365 and nowhere else because you're just not getting this number. That's first and foremost. Second of all, I look at that line and the structure of that line. Who's the goal scorer? Well, it's going to be William Nylander. He's the primary focal point goal scorer. He's the shooter. He's the guy who's getting those opportunities net front, who's going to be circling the zone, ripping shots, whatever. He's going to be that guy. But then the secondary piece to me, even more so than Pacioretty, would be John Tavares. He's a guy who goes to the front of the net, can tip in pucks, get rebounds, all that kind of stuff. Pacioretty would kind of fall in as the secondary shooter on that line, but JT would be the secondary scorer. What I mean by that is if you're going to get chances where Pacioretty can shoot, you want him to shoot. But I think that JT is the guy who's going to be a little bit more likely to score. Tipping, rebounds, net front, garbage. Pacioretty's also proven himself over the last couple of games to be a pretty good playmaker and a guy who can get involved from that aspect of the game. A guy who can set guys up, find you out front, hit you with backdoor passes, tip-ins, whatever. And he's adding to his game these elements of like a veteran guy who knows he needs to be something that he wasn't when he was younger. So he's become a much more impactful player and a guy who can help contribute to other people's success. At plus 260 to record an assist tonight, I think we have a great number, and I'm going to be diving into this one all day. This is, I think, a great bet for us here tonight, and one that I really, really am excited about getting involved in. We're going to be putting half a unit, so $50 on this one, half a unit at plus 260, profits us here tonight $130. $130 profit. This will significantly put us in the right direction here so far for our season at our $100 unit sizing. $50, a half unit bet at plus 260 is tonight's best bet. If you like it, like the video, drop a comment down below, subscribe to the channel. We will have much more of these game previews coming out, more post-game shows on Leafs Nation After Dark, more instant reactions like what Nick and I did last night reacting to the Timothy Liljegren trade, whether it's news, rumors, trade updates, all that kind of stuff. Nick and I will be breaking it down as immediately as possible right here on this channel. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. I will see you again later today following the Kraken Leafs game. Hopefully nothing too spooky here yet again. And I will be having a special guest on the program. Tune in, subscribe to the channel if you guys are going to be interested in seeing what Tyler Ennis has to say about tonight's Leafs Kraken game. Thank you so much to everyone who tuned in. Drop your thoughts below. We look forward to seeing you tonight on the post-game show for Leafs Nation After Dark following game number 11 against the Seattle Kraken. Thank you to everyone who tuned in. Appreciate it as always. Keep believing. For more content just like this, including game previews, post-game live shows, Leafs Morning Take Monday through Friday with Nick Alberga and Jay Rosehill with special guests, as well as instant reaction videos, make sure to be subscribed here to the Leafs Nation YouTube channel. Turn on notifications so you don't miss anything, and drop a like.